So here are 5 fantasy books that I would love to see on the big screen. Number 1 is probably no surprise to anyone, and that's the Mistborn series. The magic system and the fights that happen in here are just so ready to be on the big screen. But the story is essentially based around a heist that turns into a rebellion with some really memorable characters, and it's very easy to follow along those characters' journey and enjoy the ride. Number 2 is The Painted Man, or The Warded Man as it's called over in America. And this is set in a world where demons come out at night, but humanity have learned how to draw wards around their property to make sure the demons can't come in. And I think this should be a horror/fantasy series because of the demons outside. You can imagine it very 28 Days Later style. But the actual strength in the story is about the demons in humanity and the conflict between different humans. And there are some creepy scenes that you can treat like a horror movie, or you could just completely leave them out, and that would be okay too. Number 3 is Dungeon Crawler Carl, and this is where aliens have invaded the world and thrown a load of humanity into an 18-story dungeon, and they have to fight their way through, sort of like a video game, in order to survive. Now this should easily be on the big screen. There's characters like Donut, the talking cat, that you can get behind, or Carl, who's just an average guy that's been thrown in this situation. And there's a lot of humour and video-esque game commentary along the way that people will really resonate with and get behind. And number 4, I'm going to say Of Blood and Fire. It is a very traditional fantasy that has elves, dwarves, dragons, giants, etc, etc. And I think Lord of the Rings was long enough ago that we can separate this from that and enjoy it for what it is. This is a story that follows a small group of friends from a small village that get thrown into a quest line that has all of those fantasy tropes. And this will be very easy for people to just jump in and enjoy, and doesn't matter what age you are, and just go along the journey and love it. And I think it's about time that we get some of those fantasy tropes back into a good movie again. And the final one, I'm actually going to break my rule, and this is probably better as a TV series, but that's the First Law series by Joe Abercrombie. Now this is full of really interesting characters and lots of large conflicts across different regions. So I think it would fit in the same space as the Game of Thrones did back when that first came out, and I think it's about time we get something as good as that again. And I do think the characters in this story and the different regions can do that as well and have a really great series that adults can get behind and enjoy. Now tell me, what books would you like to see on the big screen?